Well, hello my loves, it's been too long. At least it feels like that because I haven't done a video this week and I feel weird. So, we're taking my Undie Run, my Fallout 4 Undie Run, to the Far Harbor DLC today because this is the bad idea that just never stops giving. We'll be adding one extra rule to this for this part. I must remain on the island until I am prompted by the primary DLC quest to return to the Commonwealth. That means no travelling back and forth every 5 minutes, because that would just get tedious. I really don't have much else to say, so let's just get into it. Here we go. After I blew up the Institute, I was left feeling really weird. Had I really just given control of the Commonwealth over to the Brotherhood of Steel of all people? It doesn't seem like the best choice. I think I might have just irreparably fucked up this wasteland. Oh, I need a holiday. I also need to spend these 2 perk points I got at the end of the quest, so, Gun Nut rank 3, and Rifleman rank 3, that'll do. So I head back to the Red Rocket truck stop to prepare for my holiday. I heard there was a couple up north who were looking for a detective, and I just so happened to be technically qualified, not really, but okay. I scrapped some weapons I wasn't going to use and stored everything else. I then head back to Diamond City to do some trading and get some supplies. Sadly, Mayor McDonough has revealed himself to be a synth by this point, and he's shot one of his security people, and we kind of have to deal with that before we go any further. Well, we don't have to. I could just leave, but I kind of want to shoot the prick. Just to be clear, my desire to shoot him isn't because he's a synth. It's because he's an asshole. To absolutely no one's surprise, Mayor McDonough is really not that tough to take down. It's a couple of shots with a railway rifle and that puts him out of commission. I also have to shoot his assistant because for some reason the game keeps registering her as an enemy combatant. I don't really. I then figured that before I actually go anywhere else, I'm going to quickly head to the Printwin and buy some extra ammo because they usually have a decent supply of ammo. Anyway, that's enough pissing about. We can finally start doing the quest itself. First order of business, travel to a nearby location and make our way up from there. On my way up, I encounter a Yaoguai, but thanks to my railway rifle, it's barely a fight. It's okay, I want me to die as well. I also encounter a Mirelurk, but thanks to my railway rifle once again, it's a fairly unworrying case of crabs. The journey was going pretty well until a legendary Deathclaw happened. That's fun. And sadly, my choo-choo train gun was really just not that effective against him. Oh fuck, that's my best gun. Now I really want to tell you that I stood my ground bravely and fought this thing. But I didn't. I basically spent the next few minutes dipping in and out of the nearby water to confuse Deathclaw, and then as soon as it was out of sight, I just ran. Well, I crouch walked quickly away. I didn't want to make too much noise and attract it again. Oh look, scorpions. Those are fun. At least they're not wearing their anti-choo-choo train pyjamas and I could do some decent damage to these fuckers. But then again, they're also not legendary Deathclaws, so I feel like that might be a factor. Fortunately, after the scorpions, there wasn't really any other big bads to worry about. There were some feral ghouls on the beach leading up to the residence I was heading towards, but other than that, it was a nice enough stroll through the Commonwealth. Also, this might be a good time to point out that I am going to be spoiling a lot of what happens in Far Harbor if you haven't played it yet, so yeah, just keep that in mind. I reached the Nakano residence, which is this lovely little house towards the northern corner of the Commonwealth, head inside and speak to the concerned parents who are missing their daughter. They also don't seem to mind that their detective is naked and carrying a gun that makes choo-choo train noises. I feel like they've got bigger problems though, so I'll cut them some slack. We searched the house to find clues for where Kasumi might have gone. Kasumi's the name of the daughter, by the way, I think I forgot to mention. Whilst we're looking in her room, we find some holotapes which talk about the projects that she works on. She's quite an inventive young lass, I'll give her that. But eventually our investigation leads us to the workshop behind the house. Inside there we discover her last holotape. She discusses that she's afraid that she might be a synth and has gone up north to find some other people who are also synths and seeking refuge. And so we're prompted to go to Far Harbor. I tell the parents about this and they give me one of their boats so that I can follow Kasumi, so I hop in and set out immediately. As we pull up on Far Harbor, we're met with this beautifully bleak, foggy, foreboding atmosphere, and I've got to say, I have never been more aroused. We're not exactly given the warmest welcome by the locals, but given the fact that they're perpetually fighting a stream of Lovecraftian horrors, I can't really blame them for being a little bit on edge. Hang on, those are my tats. We're not even here 5 minutes before the town comes under attack and we're roped into fighting it.
eyes on the fog. Something's coming.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually really like that bit. With the attack over, I can finally speak to Captain Avery, the head honcho of these parts. She tells me that Kasumi has definitely been through here recently and gives me instructions on how to track her down, but also begs that I help around the town because the Far Harbor people really aren't doing very well. Long story short, the island is covered in a radioactive fog that's basically been pushing people out of their homes for years. Now everyone's basically stuck living on this one harbour and things are getting a little bit tense and worrying for these poor people, so I'm encouraged to help around where I can, and I figure since I'm here I might as well do a few quests. The first thing I decide to do is quickly speak to the doctor who has a patient who's basically on the brink of death. Thanks to my medical knowledge, I'm able to synthesize a cure for the weird breed of radiation poisoning he has, and he'll be up on his feet in no time. I then quickly head over to a nearby workbench to do some upgrades to a legendary lever action I found during that attack. But you're not here to see me bum around the harbour, you want to see me take on the island, so we're going to need to do a quest that takes us further into the fog. So I speak to the mariner. She's looking for someone to fetch her some tools that she needs to complete repairs to the hull that protects the town. These tools are out of town, and that's exactly where I want to go. I start heading north, and on my way I encounter my first group of trappers, which are basically the island's equivalent to raiders, only these ones are also cannibals, because why not? They are also usually better equipped than raiders, so you do have to be a bit more careful with these guys. It's not uncommon for some of them to carry weapons that will just completely demolish your health bar in only a couple of shots. My first encounter with the trappers went pretty well, as you can see. Yeah, I took a fair bit of damage, but I did plenty more in return, and the lever action rifle has proven itself to be a very effective rifle, even if it doesn't have a bullet counted reload thing, which it really should, because New Vegas got right, and the game crashed. Why am I not surprised? Rebooting, I made my way back to the trappers to do it all again. Thankfully, dealing with the buggy shit that Bethesda pulls out has taught me to save frequently. Clearing out the trappers a second time wasn't that bad, everything was going just fine. I start looting the bodies and then the game crashes again. By the golden wanking glove of Osiris, this is annoying. When I loaded back in, I decided that it had to be that particular area of the map that was causing a problem, much like downtown Boston causes a huge problem in the base game, so I decided to sneak around and just, avoid it. This works. I'm able to proceed in looking for Mariner's tools up in a nearby location. I say nearby, it's like on the other side of the island, but, it's walking distance. On my way, I have a scuffle with some ferals that are hiding in a building, and it gets me thinking about the radiation on this island, because radiation is just really annoying in Fallout 4, and it's bad enough in the base game, but around here you've got random patches of it just hovering around everywhere thanks to the fog, and of course the ghouls are going to be spitting more of it, so this is just going to be a lovely walk, isn't it? The journey was quite uneventful until I reached this spa here because it's currently overrun with super mutants. I'll be honest though, it wasn't a particularly interesting encounter. I didn't take all that much damage or come close to death at any point, and the game didn't crash, so we're probably just going to skip over this bit here. Eventually I come up to the building where the tools are being housed, only outside there are a bunch of feral ghouls taking a nap, so you know what we got to do first. Yes, that gap in the railing was unfortunately in my way somehow. Fucking Bethesda. That's more like it. Whilst killing the ghouls, I hit level 26, but decide to finish clearing them out before I take my perk. Once they're all dead, I take the first rank of the Aqua Gold perk, mostly because I want to remove the radiation damage I take just from stepping in the water for a few seconds. This island is a very moist place. Inside the tannery there are yet more ghouls, including a legendary Reaver, which is always fun. Well, I say fun, this one was actually fairly easy to dispatch. It only took a few rounds from the lever action rifle to put him down, and then I could get my legendary prize from him, which was a Defiant combat rifle. I'm never going to use this. Further into the facility, there's a glowing one waiting for me. He did call reinforcements, but unfortunately he's doing battle with someone who has command over time and space itself, and it doesn't take long for me to put him and all of his friends back in the ground. With all the ghouls finally dead, I can get my hands on the power tools I came for and get the fuck out of this facility. There is a dude outside who wants to buy the tools off me, but I tell him to shove it up his arse, then return them to the Mariner. Whilst I'm in town, I speak to this lady, Casey Dalton, who wants me to help her avenge her dead family, basically, and so I've now got another quest to do. Not a particularly interesting one, though. It's basically just go to an old national park and kill some more ghouls, because we didn't get enough of that last time. Once I'm back in town, I report my success to her, she congratulates me and pays me, and then tells me about something else she wants me to do. She tells me about her homestead, which was destroyed by a creature called a fog crawler, which is basically a giant mantis shrimp looking thing. It's this thing. As I hadn't fought a fog crawler for quite a long time, I thought this would be pretty interesting, so let's go straight to it. On my way though, I do stop to snipe some super mutants on a bridge. Once I reach the farmstead, the fun begins. I have no idea just how powerful a fog crawler actually is, so this will be a fun little experiment, won't it? Oh. Well, that was a bit anticlimactic. It's kind of an issue in Fallout if you're fighting a melee enemy and they can't get to you, chances are they're just going to start running back and forth because they've got no idea what they're supposed to be doing. I head back to Far Harbor and quickly talk to the Mariner, who has another quest for me. She wants me to clear out a bunch of trappers who've taken over a large ship that she wants to strip for parts. I then speak to Miss Dalton, who gives me the final part of her quest. We're going to hunt down and kill the trapper who killed her husband. And you might be wondering now, am I really having fun doing all of these really basic quests? No. As I'm leaving town, I decide that that's enough Far Harbor quests. I should just do the main quests. That's supposed to be the thing I'm doing, and it's not like I'm not a high enough level to take on most of the challenges anyway. I'll finish these two bits just for the sake of completing them, but that'll be enough. On my journey, I managed to get myself stuck inside this caravan and have to fast travel back to Far Harbor and begin it again because I'm so clever. But after I'm done being stupid, I'm on my way again, and eventually I reach the big ship that the Mariner told me about. Oh yeah, stealth boys are shit. I guess we're doing this the old-fashioned way. Fortunately, this is one of those quests where you only have to kill one specific enemy to mark it as complete, so if all else fails, I can snipe the dude from a distance and then run away. But as you should know by now, I'm not really someone who's prone to making the smart decision. This whole area wasn't particularly difficult to deal with. I defeated the main trapper dude and decided to go around mopping up all of his baits. I figured it was a good way to get some weapons to scrap for parts so I could upgrade my lever action a bit more. I had a bit of a tussle with a legendary trapper who did put up a bit more of a fight than his buddies. Ultimately though, as all the toughest do, he fell to my critical hit. So what prize do I get for defeating a legendary foe? A bit of armour that I can't wear. Suck a dick. Once I'm done over at the ship, I quickly head back to Far Harbor to do a bit of trading when the doctor approaches me and tells me that there's a way to earn respect even quicker than the way I've been doing it, which I really wish he told me like hours ago. That would have been bloody handy. Basically what he wants me to do is throw meat into some water and kill whatever comes out of the water. I can see that lamplight through his head. I agree to it, but I don't really plan to actually go and do it. If I happen to be in the neighbourhood and it's like a short walk away from whatever I'm doing later, then fine, I'll go and do it. All you really get out of this is a hat, and I can't wear the hat. Once he finally shuts the fuck up, I head out to do the last of Casey Dalton's quest, you know, the whole avenging her husband thing that I nearly completely forgot about. On my way to kill this trapper, I pass through a very interesting looking drive-in movie theatre, which would be a pretty good place for a settlement if only you could build one here. Unfortunately, this one is overrun with feral ghouls, so you know what we gotta do. Man, most of what I've fought here have been feral ghouls. That's really depressing. Whilst I'm killing the ghouls, I hit level 27, though like with last time I decide to wait until I'm done clearing the area before I take my perk, mostly to avoid the whole autosave thing that happens after you take a perk. The last thing I want to do is be surrounded by ghouls when the game loads me back in and just get killed immediately. It doesn't take too long to take out the ghouls. Thankfully the feral ghoul reavers in every game except Fallout 3 really aren't that big a deal. If this was Fallout 3, those things would be bloody burying me. It also doesn't hurt that my character is more powerful than God at this point. As I'm walking away from the drive-in and towards my destination, I can't help but think that I've forgotten to do something. What was it? I know it was important. What was it? Oh yeah, level up. With this new perk point, I take the 3rd rank of Rad Resistant. With that finally sorted, I can continue on my quest, and I've got to say, I really like walking around the island. I love the atmosphere here. I just think it's brilliant. I bet this area could be used to make a really effective horror game. Look, it's even got its own ready supply of zombies. I'm just saying, Far Harbor but as like a horror game would be brilliant. Oh look, another rad bear. Ha, suck it, Winnie. Why is that hound covered in green paint? I know that this is an attempt to make a glowing hound, but like, they really failed. Eventually though, we finally reached a lighthouse where the trapper dude is located and the fun can begin. Yeah, not gonna lie, that whole battle had me a little bit concerned for my safety. Honestly, I was a little worried about confronting the dude at the top of the lighthouse, given how tough his minions were, and given the fact that he's like 19 levels higher than I am. Yeah, I'm a little concerned. I mean, he pretty much just ate those bullets. Thomas to the rescue. With Douglas now as dead as the Queen, I decided to head back to that drive-in movie theatre I found earlier, and from there I'd head to the ritual site where the captain's dance can take place. I vaguely remember where it is, so I start making my way east, and I just keep going, and going, and going, and going, and going, until I finally realise something. I'm following the marker back to Far Harbor. Yep, I'd spent the last 10 minutes wandering entirely the wrong way. Did I mention that I'm stupid yet? Once I'm back at the drive-in, I start making my way west, the correct way, because now I'm kind of annoyed with myself and I just want to do this thing. I've had to stop this recording 3 times to fart, by the way. As we approach the ritual site, we enter what I like to call the creepy house. Why do I call it creepy? It's not because of the ghouls, it's because things in this house seem to flicker in and out of existence a little bit. Although Sergeant Glowy Bollocks here certainly doesn't help. Behold, the flickering boy of Osiris. I didn't have anything planned for that. So this westmost area of the map seems to have a lot of trouble when it comes to just rendering things properly. Like just here, where the entire map seems to fuck right off because I walked into a bush. That's how bushes work. As I say, I don't play Far Harbor all that much when I do a Fallout 4 run. I'm typically staying in one place in the Commonwealth building a town. Is this normal? Is this something that's just normal for the island, that it flickers in and out of existence? Is this a dream? Is this a sim? As I'm trying to leave the house, these anglers happen, so I have to have a fight with them, and they're a bit of a pain in the arse. They do quite a lot of damage, they shoot stuff out of their mouth that sets you on fire, because fish, apparently. Well, actually, I guess they're more like frogs. Do frogs spit fire? It's been a while since I've been to the official frog building, you're gonna have to forgive me. Anyway, these guys are tough, and they're very rarely alone, so as you can probably guess, this took me a while. Right, back to business. I head back into Spooky House to have a quick nap before making my way to the ritual site. On my way I end up in a gunfight with more trappers, that's fun. They are really doing a number on my health and I'm kind of worried about that because I know what the ritual, the captain's dance, entails. It's basically fighting really powerful sea creatures, including well, I'll show you soon, and I was gonna run out of health. As long as I can survive this battle, I'd be alright because I have the 3rd rank of the Life Giver perk, which causes your health to regenerate slowly over time. I just had to get through this encounter without using too many stim packs and things would be fine. In fact, I haven't really checked my stim pack reserves for a while because I've mostly been buying ammo, I've not been paying attention. And I'm kind of too anxious to check right now, so I'm just sort of eating as much food as I can so I don't have to use what few stim packs I have remaining. After a small eternity, I finally defeated the trappers and could be on my way. I decided that since I've discovered this location, I could quickly head back to Far Harbor and pick up some extra medicine that I would definitely be needing before I pressed onwards. Also, I pop in and tell Miss Dalton that I avenged her dead husband because I just remembered that I did that. She's so proud of me that she gives me a special meat hook. I am never going to use this. Once that's done, I make my way back towards the ritual site, and now we can finally begin the captain's dance. Again, here's what it entails. You throw meat into the water and kill anything that comes looking for it. Yep, this dance is literally us antagonizing animals just to prove them who's boss. I thought I'd left all my dickishness back in the Commonwealth, but apparently not. God, why can't I stop being such a junkie? Yay, more shit that I can't use. But anyway, that's round 1 to us. Let's go for round 2. Oh shit, I didn't realise you'd arrived, and now I am dead. Let's try this again, shall we? Okay, this is taking quite a while, so we're going to speed things up a bit. There we go, that's much better, isn't it? I mean, aside from these little hatchlings that I've got to deal with, but you know what, I will take them over a Mirelurk Queen that's legendary and therefore regenerates halfway through its fight like a bitch. Oh wait, I regenerate halfway through all my fights like a bitch. But then again, I'm a bitch. I think I'm just bitter that this legendary enemy dropped armour again. Seriously. Stop it. I go back to the town and bask in the celebration of pissing off nature, and then I finally, after God knows how many hours of actually being here on the island, decide to go and look for the girl I'm actually supposed to be looking for. Yeah, her parents are probably worried sick. What if she's dead? At least I was going to, then Captain Avery sort of wrote me into doing one more thing. Also, I'd leveled up. I'm at 28 now. I don't remember when that happened. Probably when I was killing the Mirelurk or something. I kind of got caught up in everything. I take Cap Collector, nothing interesting. I decide that since Avery's quest is literally just outside of town, I'll quickly sort that out first. Nothing interesting really happens. I kill some Mirelurks. It was just fixing a water purifier. It wasn't an interesting quest. So once I've done that, I immediately set out in towards. Fuck it, in towards. I sack out. Fuck. I don't know what that happened there. Fuck. Once that quest is done, I set out towards Arcadia. That's what I was desperately trying to say. Aside from an encounter with a few feral ghouls, the journey is uneventful. Before I know it, I've reached Arcadia, and I'm heading inside to speak to DiMA that looks like that. He and I engage in a long discussion about whether or not my character is actually a simp. After that's all done, I tell him that, hey, I'm just kind of here for Kasumi, I've got a job to do, and he says I'm free to see her, and she's free to go if she really wants to go. I go and find Kasumi and tell her that her parents wanted to come home, only she says she can't just yet because there's something real sus about that grey boy up there. Kasumi tells me that she's worried about something DiMA might be planning. She said she looked through his memories at one point and found there were projections for death counts and various other nasty things. I agree to help her uncover what might be going on here. I also speak to Chase while I'm here. She's an old Institute Courser who is no longer a Courser. Chase uses her skills to get simps out of the Institute and get them to Arcadia where they'll be safe. Only problem is, one that they're waiting on hasn't turned up yet. Now you might be wondering, since I blew up the Institute rather violently, as you might remember, how are there still simps to come from the Institute to get here? Shut up. I also speak to Dr. Faraday, who wants me to find some old memory bank drive thingies that are in a crashed burning boat. Yeah, that's perfectly safe. I might as well. So that's 3 extra quests that we got to do. And yes, I'm fully aware of just how long this is already. I should not have procrastinated so much in those earlier sections, but you know what, we're here, we're just gonna keep going with it. So I go to look for the missing Symph. It turns out he was jumped by cannibals and eaten. Can you eat Symph flesh? Is that safe? I don't think these guys are really that worried about it, but like, that doesn't seem safe. I then head out to get those memory drive thingy-majigs from the burning boat place, but there's nothing to actually kill or do on the way here, so yeah, nothing really worth reporting there. I return to Arcadia and tell Chase that Symphy Boy didn't make it. She's sad but thanks me and pays me for the trouble. With that little quest done, I hit level 29 and I take the first rank of solar powered. She also gave me her Institute rifle, but I don't care. I then tell Faraday that I got his memory things. He thanks me but gives me nothing, the ungrateful cunt. Then I quickly head downstairs to do some trading when the trader dude, this Symph here, tells me about an Institute Courser who is looking for them. Now you may or may not be aware that the Institute, it's gone. I blew it up. Again, it was very violent and very, very big. So you might now be wondering, how exactly are there still coursers to look for the simps that went missing? Fuck you! Either way, I've got a courser to find, so might as well. So I head out to look for the courser. Now, you may remember that my battle with the courser in the Commonwealth didn't exactly go smoothly. I approach the courser and see he's currently battling some trappers. Figuring this is my best chance to get the jump on him while he's distracted, I dive in and start shooting. Well, that didn't work.
Prepare to be terminated.
crap. Oh, eat me, you bastard. Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting there.
Combat initiated.
Success! Finally, the Corsair is dead and I can report my success back to Arcadia. What the fuck is happening to this trapper's house? I tell the simps in Arcadia that they can rest up now that this is all sorted. I then decide to actually make progress with the main quest again. I have to sneak into a small room and overhear DiMA and his mates talking about some really suspicious sounding stuff. We tell Kasumi about it, then add that we're going to steal a program that will allow us to access old memories DiMA stored on a nearby nuclear sub to get the answers we seek. Fuck me, it's Schrodinger's box. We make our way towards the nucleus, as the sub is called, stopping to deal with the pesky wildlife along the way. These gulpers are assholes, simply put. Sadly, when we arrive at our destination, we see the nucleus is currently home to the children of Atom, and to get inside we must prove ourselves by drinking toxic stank water and following a ghost. This little trip through the fog past all the radioactive animals takes us to a nest of feral ghouls, so more fun times we have. Once they're out of the way, we discover inside this small place thing a little icon that is apparently something of worth to the children. I show the icon to this zealot dude out here and he lets me inside and welcomes me to the family. I also hit level 30 and take rank 2 of the solar powered perk. Rather than dick around and speak to every NPC here, I head straight to the command center where the memories are stored. This area is swarming with robots. But wait, there's more.
Attack on hostile target. Fugitive has been located. Commencing attack.
Oh yeah. Seriously, go fuck yourself. Anyway, with the robots dead, I can now access DiMA's memories, which look like this. This is another section of the DLC that's just kind of boring, but let me tell you what's happening. We're digging up memories that will lead us to things that DiMA buried. Each hidden thing is a means of ensuring peace on the island, questionable as some of the methods may be. One is the launch codes for the nukes in the sub, one is a shutdown code for the wind turbines that power Far Harbor, and one is basically a mystery box. Once I got out of the sim, I decided I'd go for the mystery box because I feel like the bad ending to the DLC is one of the endings where one of the groups has to die. Look, I think the Children of Atom are fucking weird, but I already did genocide once, I ain't looking to do it again. At least not right away. So we head out. We're headed to the Vimpop factory because that's where DiMA has buried his darkest secret. You know, in case having access to nuclear launch codes or the power to shut down the life-saving electricity that Far Harbor needs wasn't bad enough somehow. DiMA is not a good dude. The factory happens to be overrun with super mutants, so you know what we gotta do. Fuck you, that's cheating and you know it. If I'm being completely honest, the factory was actually fairly easy to get through. I get to the basement and find DiMA's darkest secret. Whoa. I'll stop doing that now. This is the body of Captain Avery. You might recognise that name. She's currently alive and in Far Harbor. She's not, she's a synth. DiMA replaced her with a synth. Before I leave to go and confront DiMA, I quickly search near my room and I find December's Child, this rather nifty little combat rifle. It fires 5.56 ammo, which reminds me that regular ones don't for some reason. Anyway, it's time to go and confront DiMA about this whole murder thing that he seems to have done, and the game crashes behind a loading screen. Fuck. Once I load back in, I decide to exit the building from a slightly different way, just to be safe. Obviously, I head back to Arcadia and tell Kasumi. She's not exactly thrilled by the things that I've found, and I tell her I'm going to go and confront DiMA. If you're wondering why I keep getting my gun out to talk to people, it's because I like having my gun out. Although before I can actually go and confront DiMA about this whole murder thing, this absolute fucking weapon leads me around the room, like literally all around a big room, to get to a place that could have been easily accessed by the big door in the room that he seems to be blind to, because he's a fucking idiot. Like, dude, there were easier ways to do that. Anyway, he tells me his friend is suffering from severe headaches, which apparently I'm supposed to give a fuck about. And to make a long story short, we want to go and search that boat that was on fire that we found earlier to see what really happened the night that she arrived on the island, because apparently there was a boat crash of some description. Actually, I don't think that's entirely what happened. I wasn't really paying attention. So I decide to go and get that out the way real quick. This is another instance where literally nothing interesting happens. I go there, we discover that her name was different before what it is now, and that her memories have been stolen from her. And she gets cross and leaves, because... yeah, that's fair actually. Now I can finally speak to DiMA Boy. He's a little sore that I stole his program and that Chase saw me headed inside the nucleus during a tense political time, but then I have several questions about the murder, so, you know, I'm just kind of disappointed in both of us. Oh, by the way, if you don't know, the Children of Atom and Far Harbor kind of hate each other and don't believe they can live in peace. There are individuals in both groups that would rather see the other group dead. That's the dead noise. Anyway, I tell DiMA about what I saw and he reviews his memories of the whole murder thing and he gets a little bit sad about it. Captain Avery was replaced with a version of herself who was less hostile towards the Atom kids and the Simps to try and ease the tension between the two groups. Cool motive, still murder. Being the outstanding individual he is, DiMA formulates a new plan to get everyone out of this. It's the same plan. He's going to kill someone and replace them. Jesus, dude, are you a fucking murder drone? I've met sentry bots that were more cuddly. This time we'll be replacing the Atom Kiddies leader, Tectus, with a less hostile and nutty version. By the way, I did try to convince DiMA to just, you know, like, admit what he did. It didn't work. The plan is to make a fake holotape of the Atom Kid's previous leader, a man named Martin, and pretend he's coming back. Tectus is afraid of the dude, you see, so we'll lure Tectus somewhere using the tape to sort of get him to talk, maybe strategize, and then we fucking blast him. Also, DiMA gives me a piece of armour that I can't wear. Thanks, babe. Really appreciate it. So we need to head to an old hideaway that Martin used to visit when presiding over the loonies became too much. On the way, I find this giant hermit crab. That was surprising. Honestly, it doesn't take me too long to find the hideaway. Once I'm inside, I find just a bunch of convenient random holotapes lying around. I know it's a video game trope, but like, so many people are just randomly recording their conversations. Once I have those, it's back to DiMA. He makes us a new tape out of the old ones, and then it's on us to deliver the news to Tectus. I speak to Tectus and show him the holotape. He agrees to meet me in the command center to discuss this whole Martin thing, so I go ahead and wait. Then he rocks up with an armed procession because I'm not actually his friend this time. Usually when I do Far Harbor, usually when I do Far Harbor, I do a couple of quests for the Children of Atom. Not because I really want to be their friends, it's just to make this bit easier. And I didn't do that this time. I have no chance of convincing him to run, so I guess we're just gonna have to fight this one out.
Disregards.
DiMA! Die for your...
Combat 1 and I'm level 31. I take the next rank of toughness and set about hiding the bodies. With all the corpses hidden, I return to DiMA and tell him everything is ready and he sends faux Technus on his way. I tell Kasumi that ultimately, whilst DiMA is a fucking psychopath, he meant well and that's good enough for her apparently, though at that age I probably wouldn't have given much of a fuck either. She also agrees to go home and tell her parents that she's not, like, dead. I quickly pop back to the submarine to check on Technus 2.0 to make sure he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and he is. He even thanks me for my appearing in his visions, that's what he believed happened by the way, with another piece of armour. At this point, it would just be weirder if that didn't happen. I return to the harbour to see all the folks talking about the offer of peace they just got from the Children of Atom. Some are sceptical, naturally, and I know they'd just lose their shit if they knew exactly how this peace came about, but you know what? This is an alright outcome. Almost everyone's alive, and you know what? Fuck it, this is the best I could do. I say my goodbyes to Captain Avery, simple no, she's been good to me, and then I hop back on the boat and leave for the Commonwealth, blowing a kiss goodbye to the foggy island that had become so familiar. Once we're back in the Commonwealth, I report my success to Kasumi's daddy man. He is very pleased that I brought her back alive, that's apparently a big plus to this man, and he wants to thank me with a chest of shit he has buried out back. I go and dig up my prize, and that brings our little quest to an end. Well, that certainly was a whole thing. I definitely could have skipped some of those quests in the beginning, but hey, it all worked out in the end, right? Sort of, if we ignore the whole murder thing. Anyway, thanks for watching, I really do appreciate it. If you've made it this far, type one of the phrases that you see on screen now. Don't forget to give this video a like, maybe share it with your friends if you think they'd like it. Subscribe if you're new. That whole notification bell thingy, press that and you'll know when I've done more mistakes like this. Once again, I can't thank you enough for being here with me. I hope you've had a good time, or at least a not shit time. I'm sure I distracted you from something you probably should have been doing, and that's all we can hope for. That's why YouTubers exist. To stop you doing chores. Stop doing them. Bad. Anyway, we will see you in the next video. That should be on Saturday, unless I make another one before that. Not likely, but it's me, so yeah, could happen. Who knows? Anyway, take care, my lovelies. I love you all. Bye-bye.